Daddy, we're playing.
I'm doing a podcast, Dizzy. Hello and welcome to the Too Cool for School podcast. I'm your host, Janik, and on today's episode, I have the founder of NGU Coaching, and I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Jevonté Small. As Jan said, I'm the founder of NGU Coaching. It's like a sports football development brand. I'm a motivational speaker, youth mentor, and a football coach as well.
Okay, great stuff. So if we go back a bit and we go back to childhood, obviously you mentioned that you're a football coach at the moment, but in terms of like childhood, what was the dream like around football? Like what was the hope?
I think just like thousands of young kids that was just like me, when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, you start playing football. I think obviously everyone thinks they're going to be the next best thing, right? So football was my first love. That's what I would describe it as. Yeah. The thing that I first fell in love with. I remember going home from school, and I don't care about homework. I don't care about what the teachers say. I just want to play football. Every day I want to play football. Lunchtime football. Football consumes your whole life. Yeah. I remember one of the first players I fell in love with was Ronaldinho. I used to go home and watch the clips. So, yeah, I think I was enamoured by the sport from a young age, definitely, and that drove a lot of my ambitions early.
Yeah, and football was different back then. Like, you could play football, break time, lunchtime, go home. Like, you go outside, everyone's playing football, you know, Wembley doubles, you're playing football with tennis ball, you're playing football with cans. Like, Facts. It was just, you know, everyone was just, like, you know, addicted to it. And, you know, from having a conversation with you, like outside of this, obviously I know you spent some time in academy football, and for you, like what was that transition like what's the difference between just playing football in school and playing football like in an academy, and did you still have that love for it?
Yeah, I think it definitely changed, because I think a lot of people can relate to, like, when it becomes more real and more serious. So then even if I look at how I fell out of love with the sport, and we're going to touch on that later, obviously, it's the same process. So you start playing football, you love it, you're consumed by it, then you go into an environment where the expectations are higher and there's pressure on you now from a young age. So then if you're not mentally prepared for that, you can start to lose your love for the game, which happens to a lot of the boys that I coach now. So you go into these environments where you have to be an 8 out of 10 every week, and someone's trying to take your shirt every week. Yeah. And every season there's a new boy comes in, and you're rated 1 minute, next minute the gaffer's telling you ain't played for 3-4 weeks. Yeah. And you have to sit with that, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. It's not easy. So I think for me, one of the biggest reasons why I even drifted from the sport was because I don't think I was mentally prepared for the challenges that it was, for the demands of the game at that level, I think. So yeah, like when I think about the mentality of a boy who's in a top club or who wants to be a top player, I think stuff like your resilience and your mindset and how to deal with loss and adversity and how to come back from an injury, all that stuff they don't teach you, but it's just as important as any step over you can do. So you think you're good, but then the mental part of the game you're not prepared for, and that's equally or more important, I would say.
And is that something that you can look at now in hindsight and be like, actually, do you know what, I didn't deal with injury good, I didn't deal with loss good, I didn't deal with being substituted or not playing 2 weeks in a row good, or was there something during the time that you was playing that you realised at that age that something's not right? Like when did you really realise that?
I would say about 14, 15 I realised that, but again, emotional maturity. So you're looking at, how come I'm not getting on the pitch, or how's my man gone here and I've not gone here, or he's at this club and he's playing, and all that stuff. That's in your mind because you're not emotionally mature enough to take full accountability of why that is, and which is normal for a kid, to be fair. So it's not nothing to be like, I'm not on myself about it all these years later, but I think at the time I was accountable for what I was accountable for. So obviously I need to train harder, I need to work harder, but then again, your mindset is everything, and I don't think I was prepared. If I'm going to say now, I don't think I deserved to make it to the top level. Looking back on it now, working with players and seeing what it takes to get there, I wasn't ready for that.
And that idea of mindset and being able to manage that, do you think at 14, 15 that it should be your responsibility, or do you think it's something that maybe the coaches should help you through, maybe like parents and like key adults should help you through?
I think with anything, it's like you need a community. You can't do nothing by yourself. That's with anything. So I think for me, when I look at now, I know that times have changed now, to be fair. So when I look at the players I work with, like the parents are paying for a mindset coach and a football coach and a one-to-one coach, and
Mindset coach.
yeah, that's one of the things I do.
Oh wow.
So a lot of players, a lot of parents, they reach out to me for the mental part of the game for their boys and their girls that play for even grassroots, just generally. So I'm thinking about how much support and how much how much information is being pumped into these kids for their best development. So when you're old school, I don't know about you, bro, but your parents ain't paying for no mindset coach, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you're decent at football, you might get spotted by a scout, go there, and you're taking a bus 45 an hour every 2 days to go training. Your parents might come to a game here and there, but more time it's you on the bus or on the train or whatever. You're getting lists from people. So obviously where we come from, the backgrounds that we come from, your mum's, she loves you and she supports what you're doing, but more time it's from afar. She's not as hands-on. She ain't got time to be hands-on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nowadays, it's just changed a lot. There's a lot more information, a lot more support for the young people, and the parents are a lot more willing to invest in their kids and their development.
Yeah. No, that's important. That's key. And, you know, I think you being able to sort of speak on that really shows how far football's sort of moved, in the fact that you're a coach, but you're not only offering support around like the physical aspect or the technical aspect of the game, but the mental aspect of the game as well, and you know, how young people manage, you know, like their resilience and stuff. So that's important. And, you know, I know you mentioned before, like your love of football during school was like so much that you didn't, you know, like not that you didn't, but instead of like homework, like you just want to play football. Like how was your school experience as a young footballer and someone like chasing that dream? Did you feel like you had the school experience during primary and secondary that you wanted, or do you feel like it was just consumed by football?
That's a really interesting question. To be fair, I think I enjoyed school to an extent, but like I said, I enjoyed it because of what I love to do. So obviously, as you said there, lunchtime, playtime, you're playing football. So then everyone's seeing you as, oh, he knows how to play football. So that gives you a certain amount of social credibility, especially amongst your peer groups. So if you're good at football, it kind of makes you somebody, right? So then now that comes with a lot of other stuff like social circles and girls and stuff like that. So then in school, your identity is more in what you do rather than who you are, if that makes sense. And I think that's normal for secondary school kids. You're so young and so impressionable that these things, they mean more to you than who you are. You don't really know who you are at that age. So I think if I was to answer your question and talk about how my school experience was, I think it was good. But again, it was very much wrapped in football. I didn't care about nothing else, to be honest with you. I had love for certain subjects like history. I loved history and English. I love writing and reading. But outside of that, bro, like I don't really care about maths and I don't really care. I just don't care. Like, I just want to go home so I can go training. Or lunchtime, year 10s versus year 11s.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
That's Champions League football right there in school.
Facts.
And you know, you're in a position now as a coach where you're impacting, you know, so many, you know, young people, boys and girls, you know, footballers, athletes, etc. Were there any teachers or adults who stood out for you when you were growing up? Like, you know, these are the people that, you know, really looked out for me or coached me in a sense, you know, when I was growing up?
Yeah, I think there's a few. There wasn't a lot, but there's a few that I could pinpoint. I went to Barking Abbey.
Yeah.
So there was a teacher in my school called Mr. Rainford.
Yeah.
He used to play for Dagenham and Redbridge.
Okay.
He was a pro there, and he obviously became a teacher later on in his life. Yeah. But he was on everyone in the school, especially the footballers, on us. Yeah. Like about like just behaviour. Like he just don't take no check. Yeah. He's always on us. He's like, Mr. Rainford, allow it, man. Yeah. And he was our school coach as well.
Okay.
So like he kept us accountable.
Yeah.
But Mr. Rainford, he used to do too much. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, bro, he does too much. Yeah. But looking back on it now, it's because he really cared. Yeah. And if I think about how he carried himself and what he demanded from us, stuff like respect and carrying yourself in a certain way and even punctuality, these little details that you find jarring when you're 14, 15. Yeah. But in my manhood, I could say he stands out to me. Yeah. I've not seen him in all these years, but I remember some of the principles that he taught me from a young age. Yeah. So that's one that I would point to, definitely.
No, that's amazing, man. Big up Mr. Rainford. Yeah. And sort of hearing that for you, when you think about the type of person that you want to be in terms of as an adult, as a coach? What would you want your players to say about you?
That's a brilliant question. What I want my players to say about me as a coach now,
Yeah.
I would say football is one aspect of your life. What if you think about the odds of being a footballer, it's 0.00 or whatever. It's a small, minute percentage of players that actually get to the top level. But I think it's definitely a space for us to leave a mark on the young people that's bigger than football. So in terms of the emotional development, encouraging their best self, giving them like a space to feel comfortable and safe. I want someone to look back at me and say, oh, I remember my coach that I had, or he really cared about me, or he really tried to make sure that I was doing the best away from football as well. Or some of the things that he taught me, I carry them with them now. I carry them with me now. And even in their adulthood or as they go on to be young adults, I want them to be like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I learned from Coach Jevonté is still applicable today.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say it's deeper than football.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. And I know as well, having spoken to you outside of this, obviously, I mentioned already that you were at an academy club. Like how was that period for you when you got released? Like what was going through your mind in that moment? How did like the family, friends react to that? What support, did you feel you received or didn't receive from, your club at the time? Like just how was that period in general for you?
It's crap, bro.
Yeah.
That's the short answer, bro. It wasn't nice. It didn't feel nice.
Yeah.
Because you gas yourself up in your head, don't you?
Yeah.
You think, like this is the pathway to get there. So I just need to be better than these boys. But I'm on the way. So then they tell you, no, it's not that. Then you start to look at yourself like, wait, what? Maybe I'm not what I thought I was then.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the early experiences I had with, like, not heartbreak, but like feeling like inadequate about yourself, innit? So in your head, you think you're good. You think that you're on the way. You think that you're someone of merit. Then they sit you in a room and tell you, you're not good enough for here though. It's just like, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And in terms of support, like I said, the game's changed. So I know that they have some support systems now, and there's active teams that work for clubs that help young people that get released to find other clubs, and there is further support now. But I think back in the day when I was kicking ball, like over 12, 13 years ago now, it wasn't that, bro.
Yeah.
So they kind of release you, and you got to figure out. And like I said again, for me, when football is something that is so important to you, then you're like, what else do I do, bro? What else do I? I'm not even good at. I don't even know what I'm good at. So then you go on this journey of you feel a bit lost because you put so much stock again in this sport, which again I think is important for young people to hear this about how you should never put 100% of yourself into anything, because things will always let you down. People will always let you down. You can't put too much stock in anything or anyone. You have to have identity and self-worth within you, so that even if this thing is removed from you, you should still be able to pivot and find yourself again. It might take a while, but you should still be able to bounce back. That's important for young people to hear as well.
And how was it during that period, like having to, as you essentially said, to figure it out alone? Like, what did that look like, figuring out alone?
To be fair, like, I was adequate in school, so I wasn't like, I was competent. So when you're in year 11, I think I was in year 11, when you're in year 11, it's GCSE's time now, isn't it? So then you're kind of being distracted a little bit by that. So that's an element. And I remember I started boxing as well. Yeah. So I started boxing when I was in year 10, just after football. I said, let me just pivot. I could do the boxing thing. Started boxing as well. So I found another, like, something like an out almost. I like training. I like fighting. So that's what I was doing for a little while. And then I just pivoted the same kind of level of ambition into that. And then, of course, when you get to that age now, you're starting to think about your friends and your social environments. Now, man are talking about money. Yeah. And man are talking about stuff that's going on outside of school and outside of, like, your infantile mindset. Yeah. So it's like people are moving grown when you're in year 11. So it's almost like you start to think, wow, like, okay, cool. So he's on this and he's on that and that's went on and this is what's going on. So you kind of grow up fast, probably quicker than you should, because it's like the football thing becomes kind of childish. You love it, but it's like real life is happening as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I need to get this money. That's what you're thinking, or
Yeah.
like people rate this. I need to be on this. So I think that I think football became to me like it's old news, man.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I feel like in the environments, you know, that we grew up in, you know, I remember, you know, being in sixth form, like 17, 18, going into uni 19, and you're like, wow, like these people that are a year or two older than me, or some even in my year group, I'm like, yo, this guy's pushing an Audi, like already. Like what's going on here? And you're seeing what people are wearing, and you're seeing what people are doing, and you're just like, damn, I might have to get involved. You know.
How's that thought process for you though at that age? When you're seeing that, what did that do to you?
I feel like for me, it was enticing because you're seeing you know, like they call it aura now. You're seeing those people move, and they just move different. Like they just move different, and people react to them differently. And you know, for me, it's like I wanted the appeal of that. Like, yo, this is, you know, and then everyone has their little names that they've taken from these American gangsters and
The
rappers,
tags.
and everyone's Boogie this or Capone this and da-da-da-da, and you're like, yeah, these are the guys, you know, really, you know, making that money. And I guess, like, for me, I would want to know, like, from your side, like, what made the pursuit of that lifestyle for you appealing? Obviously, in the back of our heads, we know, like, there's consequences, but as always with these things, the consequences are at the back and they're never at the forefront. So
Absolutely.
what made that lifestyle appealing to you?
Boy, as you said, I think I'm just gonna mirror some of the stuff you said, bro. I think it's the same, like the allure of what comes with that respect and even social validation. When you're 16, 17, 18, you're impressionable. So everything is about what people are saying and how people are reacting to you.
Yeah.
So that becomes your that becomes your currency, if that makes sense. So when you walk into a party, for example, and girls are looking in a certain way, so then that does something to you. So they say you want more of that. So I think that's what it was. Like I said, you're lost as well. I was lost. I'm not gonna speak for you, but I was lost, bro. So you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So who you are is based on what people are saying, and what are people saying? The man that get money, they get all the girls, and they get all the shoes, and they get all the clothes and the watches and that. So then you think, oh yeah, cool. So it's that then. This is what my environment rates. So I need to be on that. And then what happens is you start to normalize the maddest things. You know how it gets, bro. Like how we grew up, everything that is mad is normal. Until you come out of it, you're like, wait, what? I was just doing this and doing that, and that's what's going on. In your head, it's normal.
Yeah, it becomes normal. Like, and that's essentially what we're doing. Like we normalize seeing certain things. We normalize, you know, hearing certain things, and it's like when you look back and you take that step out, you know, that's not, you know, it's not normal. And in terms of like the social aspect of it as well, when it's like, it's a bit like, you know, like Chinese whispers, yeah? You could whisper and be like, oh, like, you know, Yan did X, Y, and Z. And it could be something simple as, let's say I rob someone's phone. Oh, you know, Yan robbed someone's phone. By the end of the week, it's like, oh, you know, Yan pulled up the thing. There was 5 man
Yan
there.
caught 10 bodies.
He said everyone da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm trying to say, caught 2 bodies. And I'm like,
Glorified stories.
just everything just got like glorified, and the names just ringing bells, and you know, things are just happening, and but it brings, you know, it brings trouble for you. You know, I'm trying to say as well, when you look back at that time, and you know, I'll share a bit for myself. Did you ever feel like there was a conflict with what you were doing and your identity? like that real you inside?
That's a
Do you
great
ever feel that there was a conflict?
That's a dope question, bro. And yes is the answer.
Mm.
Definitely yes. Because again, like, I got some friends who was them ones outside from early. So year 78, them man are just bad dudes.
Yeah.
Like you know who they are, the names. Like you're just you're just always going on this path though. That
Yeah.
wasn't my story. You get? So for me, like I said, I was raised with a lot of love.
Yeah.
I had a support system at home, people who loved me. Do you get? So it's not like I was doing this because I have to do it and my mum's on drugs. No, I ain't got that story, bro.
Yeah, you ain't,
I can't
you
cap.
ain't got that mixtape story.
No,
yet.
I ain't got that story,
Yeah.
bro. I don't even want that story. The truth is, obviously, the a piece of outside becomes like God to you. So forget what your mum's saying. Like this was going on. I need to do this.
Yeah.
So it's the love that you're getting from your home is not enough to draw you to pull you away from the love you're getting from outside or the love that you're chasing from outside.
Yeah.
So I think it was an internal battle within myself. But again, it's like you kind of relinquish that for this piece of paper. So then you might do something mad, or your friends might do something mad, or something happens, and it's like, oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But then you got this money in your hand. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah,
calm though.
it's
I
what
got
it
this
is.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel that side of it just it's like it's compensation essentially.
You're
It's
trading
like
your
it's
soul.
compensation, and you know, like I had that conflict a lot, where like I'm doing certain things or engaging with certain things, and sometimes you're thinking, oh man, like this ain't even me. But then the lifestyle, you know what I'm trying to say, becomes normalized, and I think, you know, it got to a certain point where like, guys are just really out here getting killed and going prison for,
real, innit?
you know, murders and whatever else, and I'm just like,
What kind of life is this?
damn, like what kind of life is this, man? It's crazy, and you know, I've shared this before, but for me, the one thing that was a deal breaker for me was going to uni. Was going to uni because like I moved away from London and I was there for about 2 years, and the madnesses that was going on in the ends in those 2 years was just crazy. Like everyone knows, like East London Newham from like 2000 and
Yeah, your bar is dark, bro.
to 2014, even from before then, things were bubbling up. But those, not 2012, sorry, from 2009 to 2012, like those 3 years, things were just like happening. And I just felt like if I was there, I would have been forced to align with,
Go and make a decision.
you know what I'm trying to say, like who am I with? Because I've grown up knowing everybody, but now everyone that I know is sort of like,
Beefing.
you know, beefing with each other, and it didn't make sense. And I'll tell you, I went to uni. It's not even about the studying or the people that I met there. Not being in London was so peaceful, bro.
Wow.
Like, I didn't leave that place. I said, what, job? I'm working in Ashford. Take the train down to Ashford, quick Ralph Lauren joint. You know what I'm trying to say, man, them, you want discount? Let me get your little Ralph Lauren polo hats. But I said, I don't need to leave here. Because I'm peaceful. Like, you know, I'm not hearing like sirens like that in Canterbury. I'm like, yo, this experience is, you know, crazy. And I needed to leave, you know, to have that experience.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the case, you know, with others. So I know as well, obviously, from my speaking outside of this, that, you know, life for you, like, turned, you know, at some point. And if you can sort of go into a bit more depth about what that looked like and what headspace you were in during that season.
So I was like I was 19 when I was 19. So obviously outside. At this point I'm outside.
Yeah.
So I'm in uni. So I've went to uni. So I've done my sixth form. And my boy's like to me, one of his friends has got a house in Coventry. Like, so let's just float over there and just do what we're doing up there. I'm saying, what? Yeah, cool. Like, I'm on it. So at first I wasn't on the studying thing. Like, it's long. So I'm saying after school I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is long. I don't really care.
Yeah.
My boys basically convinced me, said, yeah, like, come, let's go to uni. Like. And obviously I know that my mum would be happy if I go uni as well. So I said, yeah, this makes sense, 2 birds. So we floated up there now, and then I'm just doing the same thing I'm doing here over there, bro. But
Yeah.
obviously, United is when you go out of town, it's just more of everything,
Yeah.
and it's a new environment, and it's new places, and you're coming with a certain energy, and you're thinking in a way that's like, like I can pattern up over here.
Yeah.
So what happened was I came back to London, and I done something, obviously, and then I ended up getting arrested. I was 19 at the time, so then I've been arrested and I'm on bail for this charge, and I've gone back to uni whilst I'm on bail. But I said to myself, like, obviously the case is going on, so I'm going court. I'm going to the interviews, all that stuff. So I'm thinking, I was like, am I going to go jail? I don't know. Everyone's telling me different things. Because if you ask, like when something happens, you ask your boy, he's like, never.
Yeah.
And the other boy's saying, bro, you're cooked. So you
Yeah.
don't know that.
So you don't know what's going
You don't know
on,
what's going on. So I just said to myself, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Well, if I go jail, whatever. If I don't, then cool. But I said I'm gonna lay low for now because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be one of them, man. So let me just be easy, and until I see what happens. Then it got to a point because this is like 2019. So it was like a 6, 7, 8 months, bro. Oh, I'm on bail. I don't know what's happening. So then they've called me in now to go to court. And I said to myself, based on what the judge was saying, I said, yeah, I'm going to jail, man. Like, I had it in my head that I'm going to jail. So they released me again. I was meant to get sentenced that day, but they didn't. It got delayed. And I just put in my head that the next time I go back to this court, I'm going to the walk. Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, cool. I know I'm going to jail. So it's like, I just been prepared myself for it mentally as much as you could, innit? So I went back to court. I packed my bag, put my shoes in my bag, everything, clothes in my bag, and the judge said, yeah, you're getting 9 months. Boom. I said, what? I'll take that. So then, went jail now. Lockdown. It's 2020 now. So nothing's going on in jail, bro. Like, it's just you're on 23-hour bang up, and there's no association, there's no football, no gym, no nothing. So you're just sitting in a cell, bro, for 23 hours a day, basically 23 and a half sometimes. Sometimes you're getting 30 minutes outside your cell. So it's just dead, bro. It's just boring, bro. Like, it's just crap. Like, I was thinking about myself, thinking about my life. I'm writing. I love writing, as I said. So I'm writing letters home and that. Talking to my mum. I got a couple of visits from a couple of people. Not a lot because it was lockdown, so there wasn't a lot of people coming in and out, but a couple of visits. And I said to myself, right, like, this is me, D. And obviously, like, I'm in there with people who's, like, these men are, like, really outside, you get? So these men are like, they're in gang wars and United goals, bro. Like, man are outside, cool. So I'm looking at them, and obviously they're my dogs. You got relationships with people. They respect you respect them. But then I'm looking at them like, your life's not my life, though. Like, you're like, respectfully, I can do more than this, though. Like, these men are talking, I'm going to come outside and it's straight back to it. I'm like, I can do something else. I know I can do something else. Like, this is just a chapter of my story. It's not my whole story. Like, I've always been a bit more like, like, not arrogant, but like, I've always, like, see the road thing, for me, I just felt I'm too arrogant to be a road you. Because if you tell me let's do a maths test, I'm saying, what, come. If you tell me let's run, I'm saying, well, I can beat you. So you can't put me in a box. So the road thing was, if it's that, I'm saying, yeah, cool. But if it's not that, if you give me anything else, I'm saying, yeah, like, I'm better than you. So it's not like, yeah, this is just my whole life and this is all I've ever known. Nah. So I came out, bro, done my time, came out. I said to myself, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to do something. I'm going to figure it out. So I was a bit, United goes, like, you're just trying to get back on your feet for a little while. And then what happened was I got a job. My probation officer sent me to a job that was football coaching. I told her I used to bang ball, so give me anything at this point. Said, yeah, it's a job to be a football coach in Forest Gate, actually. So I went there, bro, and I was there for maybe a month or 2, 6 weeks or so. And I proper loved it. Like, I was kicking ball with them, like, sharing with them some of the things that I know. And I said, right, like, this is actually proper rewarding. And they rated me. And then I told them, by the way, boys, I'm leaving, because it was like a short experiment. You know, like when they put you on these short-term programs, basically. That's what it was. And I told them I'm leaving. All of them was upset. Some of them was crying, bro. I said, bro, like, these actually rate me. I said, bro, like, I never felt that much like, bro, like, these boys proper, like, rate the knowledge that I've given them. I never felt like that before. I said, this is really, really dope. So I said, let me look for something else in a similar field. So I moved on from there and I went to another football club. It was a club, a football club. Well, CIC, it was a charity, but it was a club, basically. So I worked my way up from there, bro, and I became the lead coach in maybe 3 months for the age group that I was working with. And then from there, I said, right, like, if I can do this, then I must can do my own thing because this is like what I'm doing for the guy that I was working with. So I said, yeah, I'm going to start something. I'm going to start doing one-to-one coaching and just start selling myself, basically. So I just started that, bro. I had a conversation with my friends and I was like, what should the name be? And then they come up with NGU, which is something I've been saying for years, like, about never giving up. And I used to say, yeah, like, two things for certain. I'm never giving up and it's not finished till it's finished. That's what I used to say from young. So I just called it that. I just pivoted from what I was doing back in the day to this now. And I said, I'm going to bring the same mindset onto it, the same zeal, the same work ethic onto this. So yeah, I just done that, bro. I started it and obviously put myself out there. 2 clients become 4, 4 becomes 6, 10 becomes 20. Then obviously that was about 4 years ago now. So I've grown it now to the point where it's at now, which is like, obviously it's evolved and grown a lot. And like now it's kind of like bigger than me.
Yeah.
And hopefully by God's grace, it gets even bigger.
That's amazing, man. That's an amazing story to hear. And I just want to touch on something very quickly. You know, earlier you mentioned when you were playing football, 14, 15, that mentality that you didn't have, that resilience, that obstacle. So now, fast forward to 2019, you're in prison. It's lockdown.
2020.
2020, you're in prison, it's lockdown. You can't even play football or whatever. What's the mindset then? How did you lock in then to keep yourself going?
That's a good question. How did I lock in to keep myself going? I think I'm a realist, bro. So 1 + 1 is 2 for me. So I wasn't gonna waste time complaining or like crying or, bro. There's no time for that. I'm here. It is what it is. So we keep it moving. So I was just fixated on, let me get out of here and change my life. So I'm gonna hold it down, do my time, get what I get from this experience, and move on from it with something that's learned. That's the way I looked at it. And because I knew I was going in, I put it in my head. When I went in, it was like, yeah, cool. Like, I can do this. I can soldier this out.
Yeah.
So that's what it was for me. I think it's just more so about hope for the future and knowing that I'm in this position now, but I'm determined to make something of myself, determined to give my family a new identity of me. Because I think there was a period of, you know how it goes, like you mentioned prior, that you kind of lose yourself in everything that's going on for a while.
Yeah.
So I was determined to just find myself again, get myself back. And then obviously once I know myself, and I'm going to give myself to the world again, if that makes sense. That was the process. So who am I? Then once I know that, then how can I give myself to the world?
Yeah, that's powerful. And, you know, I know from like your social media posts that, and, you know, obviously the fact that we both go to the same church, that, you know, faith is a big part of your life. And it's something that, you know, you don't shy away from or see like on your posts. Like you'll talk about it and post about things, you know, that you've done at the church. Like when did faith, you know, enter your life, and what's the, you know, the biggest impact that you've seen in terms of your faith to get you to where you are now?
Faith is everything to me, bro. It's massive. And I think faith is kind of recent, I would say. About 2 years. Like I said, I came out of jail and you start to think about life. I'm saying to myself, right, like, there must be more to this life than this. Like, I just had a bit of an epiphany. It'll be like, what even is it with this? I always knew there was something. And like I said, as you know, my sisters, similar to your age group, and they've been going our church for a while, innit? They've been trying to tell me about church for years, bro, but I wasn't trying to hear the church thing, because I'm just like, bro, don't like, allow me with your Christianity thing. That was very, like, my heart was hardened to Christ, innit? So I was just like, allow me, but whatever. I'm not coming to church. I don't really rate church people. I don't really rate pastors. I don't rate nothing to do with Christianity. I don't rate it. It's not appealing to me. So then when I started to just say to myself, there must be something, I want to investigate and learn what it is, and I want to find it for myself. Do you get? So if I would have found something else, and I believe that was the truth, I would have been something else, bro. Do you get? So it wasn't like I was like influenced to do, you know, Christian or God thing. I found it for myself, and obviously God touched my heart in a way that is unique to me, and that's how I know that I can stand on business when it comes to social medias and that, because I know it's the truth. So it's a hill that I'm willing to die on. Do you get? So yeah, it's about 2 years ago, bro. I just started to watch sermons and I said, let me just check this Christian thing, because I know that I know the base level of what it is. So let me like investigate deeper. So as I started to watch and read, and I'm learning, and then all I can describe it as, bro, I spoke about this in church the other day, it was like I was being wooed, bro. That's the best word that I could use. It's like, I don't know what happened, But it's like slowly but surely, God just started to like transform my heart. Do you get? So I know who I am, but then you meet God and it's like He changes who you are, and then I'm getting like a conviction of my own sin, and I'm like saying, "Oh, this don't feel the same no more." Or rather, like, even when I had that conversation, that didn't really sit right with me, or I can't see them man like how I used to no more, or I don't even rate that no more, and it's all because of him.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So then, I was just like, wow, like slowly but surely, bro, he just started to convict my heart, and I just fell in love with him, bro. Like I fell in love with Christ for real. I fell in love with him. Like, and by God's grace, I'm still in love with him now. But yeah, that's the reason why I would say, to answer your question, I'm so passionate about my faith, is because when you love something, you let the world know it.
Yeah, that's important, and I feel one thing that that's really stood out for me from what you mentioned is your unique relationship with God. And I'm similar to you in a sense where I'll say, like, I really found my faith when I started going to Eden, and that was about 2012. I was like 20, I was like 21, 22.
Okay.
So I've had my youth and been out here, and like you, was like, you know what, I really wanna, let me research, let me see what's really going down, you know what I'm trying to say. So like you go, you attend, you still have like your internal battles and whatever else, but like you said, that's really stood out for me. That relationship between you and God is unique. He understands, like, He's built every one of us individually, and the relationship He has with us is individual, it's unique. He knows my flaws, He knows my sins, He knows my mindset and the way, I think. So it's like, however we lock in, or however I need to get right with Him when I've slipped off and whatever else, like only He knows, what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, we all follow the same word in terms of like the word of God, and that's fit, but how it reads to us,
It's different.
It's different. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
So that's definitely unique. I wanted to know as well, like, is there any particular scripture that stands out for you? Like,
Man, there's a few.
One scripture that I don't know.
There's a few.
Like when you're going through like dark times, or just when you need motivation, or when you wake up, in the day. Like, what scripture really stands out for you?
There's a few, and I'm not even gonna say the verses because I don't want to butcher them. But there's one that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." That's one. The second one is probably acknowledge the Lord in all of your ways, and He will make your path straight. So then those two stand out for me. So see, when it talks about trust, that's very hard for people, especially people who are self-reliant, bro, to put faith in something that's bigger than them. That was a big struggle for me. That's a big struggle for a lot of people who probably have heard the gospel, but they can't sit with the gospel because of that relinquishing of self. So when I read that scripture, I'm given hope to say, right, I'm supposed to trust the Lord and lean not on my own understanding. So whatever I think, it don't have to be that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think everyone can relate to when things don't look like the way you want them to look, or when you're not seeing the fruits of your labour, or when what you have in your head isn't what's being manifested in front of you. So that scripture gives my heart comfort because it reminds me that I'm not in control and He is. So I should trust Him even when I don't see it. I should still trust Him. And the second one is acknowledge the Lord in all of your ways, and He will make your path straight. So that is even this podcast, bro. Like, we're speaking about Christ now. So He's in everything that we do. So it's not only about church and religion, it's about acknowledging Him in your job, in your conversations, in your heart position, in your repentance. Do you get? So if you acknowledge Him in all your ways, He'll make your path straight. We don't know what that straight path looks like for ourselves. So we might think this is how my path would be straight, but we don't know because we're not God. But if you acknowledge Him in your brokenness, in your vulnerability, then He will make your path straight. Again, it's He, not you.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I would say, there's, again, like you, like, there's so many, man. Like, the Bible's just filled with so many ones that, boom.
I was going to ask you for yours still.
Two that really stand out for me, and I couldn't even tell you where they are in the Bible, mind you. One is, naked I came from the womb, and naked I shall return.
Cool.
And when I read that,
That's
it
powerful.
hit me because it hit me because it was during a period where like I think I was just going through a season of being like materialistic.
Mm.
And then it was like, naked I came from the room and naked, but we ain't taking
That's
nothing
powerful
back, bro.
still.
We ain't taking nothing back. This watch, these glasses I got on the hood, like nothing. The house, the crib, the cars. Listen, you're going back how you came.
Facts.
You know what I'm trying to say? So that really hit me and really made me conscious about, you know, like how I engage with not even just materialistic things, even with people. Like you can't attach yourself to, because you ain't
People
going
and
back
things,
with no
bro.
one, you know.
Facts.
And the other one is the scripture that says like there's nothing that can take you away from the love of God.
Wow.
And I think for me it's like, you know, everyone has like their demons, everyone has like the things that they go through, and sometimes, you know, even as Christians or as people, we think, oh, man, like God ain't gonna be happy with this, or God ain't gonna love me for this, or da-da-da. But that scripture's like, bro, like there's nothing. Like even people in prison that have done like the maddest.
It's
Bro,
crazy,
God
innit?
loves you, man.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's nothing that no one, you know.
Yeah, we
can
give ourselves
really-
too much credit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we give ourselves too much credit, and we give, you know, the devil too much credit,
Absolutely.
and the enemy too much credit.
Absolutely.
So,
See, before you move on to the next question, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
because I think it's mad important for people who, like us, I don't think there's a lot of figures that's like us, that's come from the world and lived a life of sin, then come to Christ later on in life and are fully committed to that. So I think a lot of people, for me, when I was looking at the faith, I'm not seeing people like me. So that's why it wasn't appealing to me. So I definitely think we have a responsibility as people who are in the faith, men who have come from the world, to talk about Christ in a way that a lot of people can understand who are still in the world. Do you get? So I wanted to ask you like a personal question in terms of what would you say has been the biggest struggle for you coming from the world to now in the faith? What are some of the things that you wrestle with that you can tell a young person to help him, to draw him to Christ?
What's the biggest struggle? Do you know what? Like, there's two things that really stand out. Yeah, one, it links in with basically like the acronym of your thing. It's like to never give up, because you know we're running a race, we're running a marathon, and it's long, it's tedious, it's, you know, about endurance. I was saying to my brother-in-law who did the half marathon yesterday,
Cool.
I said, you're going to get to a point and you're going to see people walking, and it's going to be tempting for you to stop running your race and just walk to get to the end. I was like, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And that's one of the things about this journey. It gets to a point where we get tired. It gets difficult. It's like, I need to keep doing this. People are in the world. People are, you know, I'm trying to say, doing what X, Y, and Z. My man don't even go to church and he's doing better than me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a lot of things that's like, I've come every Sunday, but I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
Or I'm reading the Bible, but something's not. But we just got to keep going. You just, you know, never give up. Like, never give up. Keep pushing. It's a race of, you know, in endurance. And, you know, the other thing that I would say is definitely difficult is, it's like the fleshly desires. Like the fleshly desires, that's, you know, that's difficult because we come from the world, and whether it's girls, whether it's money, whatever else, the ego, you know, you're drawn to that. And these things become your, like, you know, what does it say? Like, you can't love, like, the money.
God and money.
You know what I'm trying to say? You can't love
serve
God
one and hate the other.
Exactly. Like, you need to submit yourself, you know, to one. And these things, essentially, like, they become like your idols, you know, your idols. And I think when you're locked in with your faith, it's about, you know, sacrificing.
Mm.
It's about sacrificing, and sacrifice means just giving up.
Absolutely.
Just giving up yourself and saying, oh, do you know what? Forget what I want in this moment. You know, I'm giving everything to God, and you know that's difficult. And you know, I'm at a place now where like it's still difficult.
Mm.
You know, I'm trying to say those things are still difficult. I'm still having to say to myself, don't give up.
No,
I'm
yeah.
still having to go through, you know, this thing of, you know, endurance. And that's why for me, like when it comes to like my faith, it's good to hear, you know, from brothers like yourself, because it's like his motivation.
Mm.
Like his motivation, it's like, you know what, I got to keep, you know, I got to keep going. But when you're coming from the world, it's
tough, bro.
difficult, man. Because
Very
no
difficult.
one, like, there's no one to coach you around how to go from the world and into,
The kingdom.
you know what I'm trying to say, and into the kingdom. And rarely do we have many people who have come from what we've experienced, you know what I'm trying to say, and are in the faith. And sometimes that's why, you know, there's a lot of OGs, a lot of old heads that, you know, I respect and speak to and whatever else. But even with that, sometimes I'm like, you don't understand.
There's a gap,
man.
yeah.
You don't understand. Or I feel like they don't, and maybe they do understand, but I don't give them that, you know, I don't give them that platform too. So, you know, so the journey is difficult, but where we are, you know, as men, as black men, as adults, as leaders, you know, within our community, it's just about, you know, it's just about pushing, you know, seeing our young brothers and sisters who are coming up, you know, trying to support them as best as we can, trying to give them some grace, because people fall, you know, on all levels, man.
Yeah,
People fall
true.
from all levels.
It's
And
important
just
for
trying
people to hear
support.
that as well.
Yeah.
Gara.
Yeah, 100%, man. And, you know, I wanted to ask as well if you, like, because we're gonna go back just a bit, I wanted to ask if you could sit down with, like a young academy player right now who's going through that season of, I'm 15, 16, I got GCSEs coming up, which GCSEs are literally
imminent, yeah.
here. I'm thinking about, you know, my contract as well. What sort of advice would you give them to navigate this season?
That's a good question. I speak to a few, to be fair, at that age group. And what I would say is, everything is seasonal, bro, yeah? So what we try to do is, we try to tell people, oh, you can balance everything. That's unrealistic. And I think that's false for people to attach to themselves, because it's just like, you're only human. So there's a season and a reason for everything. So right now, you understand that your GCSEs is something that's important for your future. Scholar or no scholar, you need the GCSEs. So if you become the next Phil Foden, or you work in Tesco, you need those GCSEs.
Yeah.
So for this season, you focus on what the main thing is. And when that passes, you focus on your pre-season, which is what you could put your head fully on football after these exams are over.
Yeah.
So I always just try to tell them to keep everything where they're supposed to be. Don't try to do too much juggling, because you might drop the ball or drop all of the balls. So keep the main thing. Right now, for this next few weeks, I think it's, what's it now, mid-May?
Yeah.
So their GCSEs are till like June, probably end of June.
Yeah.
Keep the main thing. Lock in with that. I'm not saying you can't kick ball. I'm not saying you're not going to think about football. But you keep the main thing, which is passing those necessary exams.
Yeah.
You keep that your priority.
Yeah,
After that, you keep your head on the scholar and the next season and what that's going to look like. That's what I would say.
No, that's important. And if you could go back, so my final two questions, if you can go back and speak to your younger self, let's say you're 15, 16, what advice would you give to a young Jevonté?
It's a good question. I answered this question the other day on another pod. Yeah, I was saying that the biggest thing for me at that age is realizing, or I would tell myself that you can't make permanent decisions based on temporary relationships and friendships. So the people who you're with now, or the people who you're seeking validation from now, you're not going to see them, man, in 10 years. They're not going to be your lifelong friends. And I think it's important for young people to hear that, because this is your whole world. When you're 15, you're consumed by opinions and people and friends and the lifestyle and stuff. When you get to 26, 27, bro, as you know, you're older than me, but there's going to be a time in 10 years when I'm 36, 37, and I might have shifted my whole thing again. Do you get it? But we're constantly evolving. So I would say don't put too much stock in people and things that are temporary, and think about your future more than your now.
Yeah.
That's what I'll tell myself.
That's important. And thinking about your future, we're fast forwarding to 10 years now. You're 36, 37. You're looking back at your last 10 years. Like, what do you hope to be proud of that you would have done within those 10 years?
Boy, I would say, let me answer the question a different way. I'm going to say, I want to be someone who is in submission to God still. Do you get? So I can sit and say, yeah, I want this, I want that, I want to make sure I have this. And I do want those things. But I think for me, my heart needs to still be chained to Christ. If I'm 36 and I still feel the same way or even more than I do now about Christ, and I know I'm in a good place. Yeah. And what comes with that. Obviously, I hope to be successful. I hope NGU coaching becomes national. I hope to be someone who changes the modern man's family. So someone who's married and a father as well. Do you get? Someone who has a stable home. Do you get me? Someone who puts God at the center. Someone who's a role model for people who look up to, man. That's been where I've been, to say that, you can do it this way as well. Yeah. That's what I want to be. But even if none of those things happen, bro, if my heart's in the right place with God, then I'm successful. Yeah.
No, that's important, man. And I think, it's really inspiring to hear, how much your faith, means to you, and how much you're leaning on that, as an anchor. And I'm hoping for, not only the people that listen to this episode, but, the people that work with you, that, they can really, benefit from that as well. And in terms of NGU coaching, actually, before we finish off, in terms of NGU coaching, if anyone wants to work with you, like, how do they sign up? What's the sort of criteria of the young people that you work with? What's the different levels, etc.?
So there's a few different levels. I work with grassroots footballers, both boys and girls, from 7 up to 21 years old. And then I also work with academy footballers, and the package is a little bit different. But I offer one-to-one coaching, group sessions, and online mindset mentorship. So those are the 3 categories of where I can add value to the young boys and girls I work with. So like I said, you're probably going to put my Instagram in the thing. Yeah. It's at NGU Coaching. So yeah, like I said, that's what I do. I also speak in schools. I do motivational talks and workshops also. So anybody who sees value in my story and thinks I can help any of the young people that they work with directly, I also do public speaking as well. So those are my layers of NGU Coaching, and it's definitely scalable. And I think there's a lot of value, dare I say, in what I'm doing, not only for me, but for the people and the mindsets that I'm looking to change and develop. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Great stuff. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode. It's been insightful. It's been impactful. And I truly pray that NGU coaching will scale beyond even limits that you can comprehend. So thank you for that. So that has been the Too Cool for School podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Take care.